another edition of Wings Weekly. Coach Anzalone joining me once again, and Coach, a lot of time to prepare for this weekend's games. With 7 days again being it's been a long time since you've had that much time in between games. And Friday night, a big win for your team, ended up being 4-2 over the Bruins, and all in all, I think a very good game. And I think we spoke pregame Saturday about how your team was going to respond. So we'll get to Saturday in a moment, but Friday night, again, some very good things happening. The guys all seem to be skating, up on their toes and really kind of pushing the tempo and the pace of the game. What did you take away from Friday night?
I thought they were the better team than us in about 4 of the first 6 minutes, and then we scored a really nice goal off the rush. Everybody was involved in the goal. Kyle Seamers moved the puck. Will Hammer drove the middle. Gavin Payne made a nice play to Jake Leitner, and Jake Leitner just shot it. And I thought that goal, scoring first early in the game, kind of like we did to them in our last series against them several weeks ago, really did a lot for our confidence, really served to get our legs moving. I liked our game. I thought it was one of our more complete games of the season in terms of play with the puck, play away from the puck. We generated a number of scoring chances. We were physical. We finished our checks. Our penalty kill was real good on their 2 power play opportunities. Our power play was 2 for 4. You and I have talked before that the games against Austin have very much been a special teams series. And the power play was sharp, scored some nice goals. We had a 2-0 lead. They tied it at 2, but I thought they earned the 2 goals. We stuck with it. Pulver scores a huge goal on the 5-on-3 at the end of the second period so that we go into the third with the lead. That was a huge goal. And then I thought we had control of the game in the third period. Did we play mistake-free? Did we play perfect? No. Is it impossible to play perfect? In my opinion, yes. But we were real good. We didn't give up much. We generated a lot, and we earned a nice 4-2 win at home in front of a loud crowd.
Yeah, and we'll likely here spend a lot more time talking about Saturday's game, but Friday, a real good crowd saw a very exciting and fast-paced game. As you said, your team playing and performing very well in just about every avenue and every category. Then we move on to Saturday. And, pregame, you and I talked, as I mentioned, kind of alluded to a moment ago, that you were kind of curious to see how they would respond because it was such a good game Friday, because they were prepared, and how do you raise the bar from a game, that was played as well as Friday's was. Then you come out on Saturday night, and in the first 11 minutes, 17 seconds, you're 4-zip, and it's like, wow, well, they've definitely raised the bar. And it just was kind of almost a little bit surreal how the goals just came pouring in the first part of the first period, and but ultimately it ended up being a real rough night for goaltenders as a whole. I know you've talked to your team a lot about Saturday's game. What do you take away from Saturday? What do you say to the guys after what ends up being a loss, a 7-5 loss, in fact, when at one point you were up 4-0?
Well, it was a lousy feeling because the timing was just terrible where we're at in the season. Good crowd, jersey auction night. It was just bad timing to learn a very valuable lesson, and the very, very valuable lesson is this. And I'll share this with the viewers. I rarely look at social media. I rarely look at Twitter. Mm-hmm. But it's funny, after the game on Saturday, I saw a tweet out there in cyberspace from Bill Gates, and I used it with our team this morning. Success is a lousy teacher. It seduces smart people into thinking they can't lose. And I think that tweet that I just ironically happened to find Saturday night really applies to our team. We go up 4-0 on 4 scoring chances. We finally do something that we've struggled to do this season. It's been our MO, mm-hmm. Score opportunistic goals and finish chances. We go up 4-0, everything's great, and then we let our guard down a bit. And I think at 4-0 with a multi-goal lead, we needed to do one of 2 things. And we talked about this as it was going on, but we just couldn't grasp the message. We either needed to keep trying to step on their throat, go up 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, and create a blowout. And that's really hard to do because they've got pride and they're going to push back.
Right.
Or we just needed to play real good defense, manage the heck out of the puck, and not give them any momentum. Try to keep that 0-0 for as long as possible. That doesn't mean go back into a shell, sit back, prevent defense, anything like that. It just means be real responsible. Don't give them any momentum that they don't earn. I would have liked to have seen us do a little bit of both, and we made uncharacteristic defensive mistakes. We took uncharacteristic stick penalties and hit to the back penalties in the second and third period, and we lost our grip on the game. And it's a teachable moment for me as a coach. There's a huge lesson we can learn. When you play with the lead, don't change your mentality. Don't stop going one shift at a time. Don't stop trying to win your next shift. Don't stop doing the little things that make you a real good team. And it's just a shame, Jay, because it's as if those goals on Saturday night were all the ones we've missed before.
Yeah.
The 3-0 loss to Bismarck, it's like, okay, here's your Easter candy, here's your gift wings. And I know the guys felt really crappy after the game. We had a good meeting this morning. We talked about it, we addressed it. We didn't just flush it. We addressed it head on. I'm confident the players have embraced the lesson. We had a great practice Monday morning where we tried to redefine what it means to do it right and recommit to being solid away from the puck, whether we're up 4-0, down 4-0, or tied 0-0. So if we can learn the lesson, if we can build off of this and mature and become a wiser, more solid team, then my hope is in 2 or 3 weeks we'll look back and we can say that, well, it stinks for the fans and we feel like we let people down. It made us a better team and it served to teach us a lesson. That's my breakdown of Saturday in the nutshell without going play by play or period by period.
Yeah, well, and there's a lot to talk about there. I mean, because, just statistically a lot going on, as you mentioned, penalties and so on, and then the goaltender Carlson gets chased, and they got a little bit of a spark, which is, kind of tends to happen, it seems like, and they bounce back. One thing I will say, even though the tables turned rather quickly, but I do think that the fans definitely got their money's worth. There was a lot of scoring, a lot of action, a lot of big hits, a lot of physicality. Definitely a big part of that game as well. So great to hear that. As you said, a message and a lesson can be taught from it, and hopefully learn from it, and you move forward. Well, and speaking of moving forward, we'll take a quick break here and hear from one of our sponsors. When we return, we'll talk about what's next for the Aberdeen Wings.
Let's make a taco. No, seriously. Start with a tortilla, soft tortilla, warm it, kiss it, don't kiss it. Chicken? How about tequila lime chicken? Now we're cooking. Slice this, peel that, snip those. Salsa? Verde. Cheese? Cotija. Oh, forgot to mention. Guac. That's better. See, anyone can make a taco, but we're not anyone. We're Qdoba, and these are knockout tacos. Qdoba Mexicanese. Choose flavor.
Welcome back to Wings Weekly. Coach Angelo joining me, and we kind of broke down Friday and Saturday's games. Coach, final 4 games coming up this 2015-2016 season, and you've got a home coming up with Brookings, who is now 3 points behind the Wings in the standings, and the Wings now tied with the Magicians after both Brookings and the Magicians won on Saturday night. So really, it's all about the playoff push. The top 4 teams get in. Right now, tied with the Magicians in the 4th spot, and I understand that the tiebreaker, if it ended up coming to that, would be wins overall, which would go to the Magicians, and then the second facet would be head-to-head, which would go the advantage would go to the Wings. Now, hopefully, it doesn't come down to a tiebreaker, but I think as we've talked about for the last couple of weeks, it just feels like it's one of those seasons that's going to come down to the very last game. And even at the top of the division in the Central, very close back and forth between Minot and Bismarck. So everybody's right in there. Austin in 3rd, and Blizzard, at the bottom of the division. But again, they, after a win Saturday night for them, they kind of creep back up into the conversation a little bit. How do you prepare for the next 4 games? I know you talk about not worrying about the other team so much and what they plan on doing, but about working on yourself. And does there get to be a little bit more pressure perhaps in the locker room when and the players know how close how close these standings are, and that every single point is really becoming crucial?
Well, here's what I can tell you. I'd say 2 things. The first thing I would tell you is how we're preparing for Brookings. If we do more of the things that we know we need to do to be successful, that we did not do enough of on Saturday night against Austin, that made us lose our grip on the game, we will be doing the things that have gotten us some success against Brookings in the previous, 10 meetings against them. Because we didn't do enough of those things on Saturday night, and that's how we lost the 4-0 lead. Stopping on pucks, getting underneath sticks in the defensive zone, getting in shot lanes, etc., etc. Those are the things that have, we think, frustrated Brookings in the past and allowed us to have a little bit of an advantage over them with some good fortune, of course. So if we go into Larson Ice Center on Friday night with our defensive game intact, with our grease game intact, with our thick, hard skin that we've developed throughout this very long season, we believe we're going to be in the best possible position to succeed. So from that standpoint, we spun it around this week as a positive. Let's learn our lesson from Saturday night, and we should be revved up and ready to go on Friday. Now, the other thing I would say to you in response to the pressure of the playoff push and 4 games to go, I've talked to you about a 1 shift at a time mentality, 5 minutes at a time in games, let's go 1 day at a time. I thought we came away from that after we went up 4-0 on Saturday, and it bit us right in the backside.
Yeah.
If we would have gone 1 shift at a time and stayed in the moment and just tried to win our shift and do it right, there's a chance maybe they wouldn't have crawled back in the game on Saturday. Now, they did a lot of good things. They earned it. I get all that. But we made our own mess. So to your question, Jay, what we have to do this week is do what's worked for us. Go 1 day at a time. Let's have a good practice tomorrow, Tuesday. Let's have a good start in Brookings. Let's attack them in the first 5 minutes. When we come away from the short term, good things don't happen. We lose our grip on leads. So the end result on Saturday stinks, and having a look at the fans and all that during the jersey auction, it's a crappy feeling. But like I said, if we handle this like men, life could teach us a very valuable lesson, and we can just keep coming and look forward. That's what we're hoping for right now. And I can tell you this, Monday after practice, we felt as a staff like, at least for the first day of the week, this group's choosing to mature, own it, accept responsibility, and everybody, coaches included, are going to try and get better this week so we can have a heck of a game on Friday night against a hungry opponent who's playing in front of their home crowd.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, there has been a level of success against the Blizzard. I think at one point you had won 5 straight against them, and not that they're a bad team. I mean, they were beating Austin, they were beating the Magicians and so on, but you guys just kind of had their number. So again, hopefully you're able to do those things that kind of frustrated the Blizzard Friday night in Larson Ice Center, and then back here for the final home game at Odie Ice Center against the Brookings Blizzard, and then on the road to Riverside, which would, again, it could come down to the very final games to determine who gets in and who doesn't. And Austin certainly doesn't have, they've got their work cut out for them too, with the third spot kind of up for grabs still too. So things could get very interesting here. I can't recall a time when there's been so close in a division like this, maybe other than NFL football or something, where there is, it comes down to a tiebreaker to get into a wild card position or something. But you look around the rest of the divisions and so on in the league, and there's nobody that's been as tight as this Central Division throughout. And I think that speaks to the level of play in the Central and the quality of these teams. Would you kind of agree with that? I mean, I know we haven't had a lot of out of division games this year, but like when you look at top prospects and stuff and you see what the Central does to other teams, it just strikes me that I think that some of the best and highest level of play in the league is right here in the Central.
You get a little bit of everything in this division when you watch the game from behind the bench like me, or you watch it from the crowd, or you're a college assistant coach or a pro scout or an evaluator. I mean, the players in this division need to be able to skate. The players in this division need to understand the importance of finishing checks and taking away time and space. Every team in this division knows how to defend. Every team in this division knows how to get in the other guy's way. This is an ultra-competitive, airtight division. Brookings beats Bismarck in a shootout. We've beaten Minot. We won 3 in a row against Austin. We should have won 4 in a row. I mean, anything can happen in this division on any given night. The competitiveness of the Central is its best asset, and I think you've seen that in the top prospects event. It's not that it's had nothing to do with the other divisions. I've been to the last 2 top prospects games. Our players are they're a byproduct of the games they play. They're a byproduct of the Central Division. These are hockey markets. It's the Midwest. It's Northern Country. There's snow on the ground. We've got great teams in this league. We've got great divisions in this league. but the Central's the place to be. And everybody's in the hunt right now, so everybody's motivated. It's good for the league, but gosh darn it, we want that third or fourth spot, and we're going to try and make our best push on Friday night while recognizing they're going to make a great push on Friday night. And hopefully, Jay, it's just a heck of a hockey game and we come out on top and show growth and show lesson learned. That's all we can ask for as a staff, and I know the fans just want to see us get back on the horse.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. And again, final home game coming up this Saturday night at 7:15 here at the ODI Center. So come on out and cheer the Wings on as they make that final push, as Coach just said, trying to get into the one of the final spots to get into the playoffs. So that'll pretty much wrap up this Wings Weekly. Thanks for watching and listening, and we'll catch you next week.